don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell, cause the tea don't stop.
Hey, how is everybody doing, y'all? Let's jump into this video. I got a few minutes here. I will be meeting with my lender again. They like, girl, can you find a house? Hopefully I will, child. I ain't been able to do it, but let's get into this video. Now, we've been talking about all the stuff that's on social media. Again, I was not in New York, but it seemed like the people are mad, child. They like, look, this lady lying. I wasn't there, but listen, there is a guy by the name of 𝐸 Richardson. And I looked him up. I did. And this guy, I'm going to share with you guys who he is. Yeah, he was legit. Y'all need to check him out. He goes by the name of 𝐸 Richardson. I don't know very much about him, but listen. You can Google him. He's Googleable. There he is, 𝐸 Richardson. And here's the songs that I guess he wrote, greatest hits. So, hey, I mean, just wanted to share that information with y'all. But listen, he is going in about more and more information. Now, as I said, and I'm going to keep saying it, I wasn't there, but I realized, like I told y'all, I did not watch these clips, but you all were telling me to watch them. And I did go back and watch them. But what I did was, child, I confused some of the clips. So let's get into these clips because it's more, y'all. It's more. Again, I saw this spiraling on social media, but I ignored it. Maybe I should have kind of dug deep into it. But again, if everybody is not talking about the topic, I don't want to talk about it either, a lot of it. So I kind of ignored it. But let's kind of get into where all this fuss is coming from with regards to these lies that they are saying that Miss Tisa is putting out. Okay. So let's start with this one. So this video is courtesy of Nancy Grace. Okay. So it looks like Tisa did this interview as well with Nancy Grace. And at this time, actually, I'm not going to even try to rehash what she's saying. Let's get into it, y'all.
The defense fighting tooth and nail to let him out on appeal bond, which means you get out while your conviction is being appealed. Joining me right now, Tisa Tells. You can find her on YouTube at Tisa Tells. Tisa, start at the beginning. Start with the verdict, the split. What happened?
When the jury walked in, everybody was on pins and needles. I'm not going to lie. Everybody in the courtroom expected him to be guilty on at least the sex trafficking. There was a somber tone. They walked in, and when they said, please read, and they said, what do you find ye? On count one, not guilty. It was a bomb that went off in the courtroom.
It was a bomb that went off in the courtroom. I don't think she means it was an actual bomb. Probably not.
The public audibly gasped. Nobody was expecting that.
Now, keep in mind, during the verdict of, you're in court, you actually can't say anything. So I don't know if she's just using phrases because when they read the verdict, nobody can talk.
There were cheers of joy from.
So she's saying there were cheers for joy. I don't know really what she's referring to. So I'm just going to let it play out because in court, you actually can't, you'll get thrown out, right?
Diddy side. Count two. What say ye? Not guilty. Again, another bombshell went off. People were in utter disbelief. Even Diddy's most ardent supporters did not expect him to get off on the count of sex trafficking with Cassie. Count three. When they said guilty for transportation of a prostitute, when they said guilty for the mayonnaise, that is when Diddy's team actually cheered. Yeah, that's all right. Okay, come on. Almost like we were watching a pro football game. When the other ones came in after that, there were jaws on the ground. It was unbelievable. People were looking at the jury, searching into how they could get a verdict in this day and age. They heard Cassie's mother, the 20,000. They heard Capricorn Clark. They heard about the savage beatings. And it was unbelievable that the only thing they said was prostitution. And that is because Daniel Phillips, in his testimony, actually said, at least I'm guessing that just because, that he got paid to have sex for money. It was a travesty. It was an all-out circus. Everybody, including myself, are running to safety.
I've got a question for you, Tisa Tells, and everyone's going to want to know this.
Okay, I just wanted to stop it. She said everybody was running to safety. Let's keep it going. I'm just following what is out there, y'all. So here we go.
You're in a car right now. You had to leave the courthouse. Why?
I had to leave the courthouse because Diddy's supporters were out of control. The first time I ran and did my live, of course, I had 2 armed security guys. Everyone told me, the people in the courthouse is like, make sure you have security. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. It wasn't just.
So this is, I guess, playing into the narrative that they're saying. She said everybody in the courthouse told her to have security. I don't know who in the courthouse would say that, because you got so many people coming to the courthouse. So I guess they singled her out, is what I'm getting, and told her you have to have security, which is odd.
It's me, but I'll tell you what I experienced. Diddy supporters surrounding me, threatening me, saying that they were going to hurt me. It was a serious situation. It got so bad, and there.
Diddy supporters surrounded her. So I think I had the videos mixed up, y'all. This was one of the ones that they were like, that's not true. And again, this can be a problem, because what she's implying is, in so many words, is that Diddy had something to do with this. And we're not just going to be making up lies on people. I mean, there's so much real news to cover. They're saying that this is a problem because you're putting out false information. Now, here's my deal. And I know y'all probably know this by now. Some stuff on YouTube is not true, but I think what a lot of the people are saying when, people just come on here and just make up shit. Now, we can be on here kikiing and talking and just talking, but when we're talking about a real news story where you are in the court and you're reporting the information, all you got to do is really report it. You can say what you think, but when you're reporting what happened as actual and factual, this is what they're saying, it becomes a problem.
There was so much chaos and violence that they actually had to lock the courtroom down and force the Diddy supporters across the street.
So she said they had to lock the courtroom down and force the Diddy's supporters across the street. This is what they're meaning.
Was something myself, the news media, mainstream media, new media have never seen in their lives. The level, and again, the jurors, I hope to God they know how to sleep at night. Because again, I'm sure they did their duty. But when all that chaos was happening, as I was being threatened and ushered out by armed security people, I thought, this is what the jury did. They sent a signal that it is okay to use violence. It's okay to.
And I think that's a problem too, because here's the deal. I don't know any of these people personally on social media. But I know I have ethics. I know I have morals. And at some point, we have to speak as if we are educated. Now, anybody can, turn their camera and come on here and say anything. But I feel like at some point we gotta speak as, even if we're not educated, we should at least try to speak like that. So this is a lot of information that she's saying, calling out the jury. Y'all got to understand, if everybody wanted Diddy to be in jail, they saw evidence that we didn't see. So what did they see that we didn't see? We can't say what the jury should have done. We were not there. So this is kind of an example of what people are talking about. And you should have your opinions. Everybody on YouTube has a dang on opinion, right? That is why we're there. We're individuals, we're different, and we all have our difference in opinion. But what they're saying is, geez, girl, you are overkill right now. So that is one of the things that they're saying. Let me just grab my other tab up here, um, because I wanted to show you guys something else. Because I'm trying to figure out like what is the they what is the hoopla about? Like these people ain't playing, but I get it. I get it. So just give me a second here to share this with y'all. Is this okay? Here it is. Okay, give me a second here. So this guy, the one that I just showed you on Google, he's a real person. His name is Delray Richardson. If you were to Google him, you would be able to bring up, his information. So let's get into what he is saying. What the heck? Okay. This video is courtesy of Delray Richardson. So let's kind of get into what he's saying. And he kind of breaks it down in this newer video. Okay, let's get into it.
Is the real gas.
Okay, wait a minute, y'all. Okay, one second. I had that playing like, yeah, I like my little new setup, but baby, it's a lot to learn. Okay, so let's kind of get into it. Sorry about that. Let's kind of start it over here. And again, this is video of Delray Richardson, Straight Game TV, Told and So. One thing about these YouTube streets, honey, these people, they don't play, honey. They will find out about you.
You ladies and gentlemen for joining me once again. I have a very special topic to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. And it's so prevalent throughout our society now, right? I wanted to deal with this in relation to the Diddy situation, the Diddy trial. Tisa Tells has been just going, she's just been going on this rampage about how she is a victim. Like I said, I call it victim claiming, but I want to get into when people gaslight. See, I think Tisa Tells think that I think she thinks that we're incapable of understanding what's really going on, if you will. And what she's been doing is she's been gaslighting this situation in and around the Diddy trial for profit, if you will, right? The real gaslight. When the liar or the person who gets caught in the lie tries to play the victim. And I need you to understand this. Like, you know what I mean? You got to understand this. Being called out for lying is not oppression. It's not being targeted. It's not being bullied, right? It's called accountability and being accountable for what you say, right? But right now, Tisa is flipping the script in real time, trying to gaslight the Black community by claiming she's the victim after being caught pretending to be Black, using the N-word, and speaking misinformation during Diddy's federal trial, right? We've seen some of the videos out there in which, she continually goes in. There was a live video she did yesterday, and basically when she was saying that, when they asked about her race or what was she, you know what I mean? Just basically trying to get some context into who she is and her background. She got offended and basically said, look at her hair, and as you can see how kinky her hair is, that she's Black, ladies and gentlemen. Once again,
now guys, let me just stop it right there. Because I know some of y'all said that Tisa did a live. I think I saw it come up on the YouTube, where it says when people do new videos. Baby, look, I cannot watch a 2-hour video. I know y'all was like, watch it. I cannot. Like, sometimes I can watch things like that if I absolutely don't got nothing to do. I just didn't have 2 hours to watch that, so I definitely cannot watch it. But apparently he watched it, and he said that Tisa was saying that she's black because of her edges. I don't know, I wasn't there. So he's saying basically, what does that mean? Because listen, I know exactly what it means, because as I told y'all, and maybe I'll show y'all a picture of my aunts on my mother's side. They don't look black. A lot of them do not look black. My grandmother looks like a whole white lady. We had a joke, and we would tell my grandmother, we would say, Grandma, you know, you be trying to use white privilege when you be going to certain places. And she was like, I sure do. So maybe, you know, I'll get to show y'all that. But what he's saying is hair texture don't indicate who you are, which is very true, because honey, I done met some people that was different colors, and honey, their hair was not hey, okay. So that don't really, and again, I don't know what race anybody is, because I done told y'all my experience, and y'all know we are conditioned by our life experience. I cannot tell who a person is based on the color simply because of my background. My grandmother looked like a whole white lady. My aunts, they don't necessarily, if you know, you would put them, you would probably say they're not black. But because I know black people can have long hair, they can have short hair, they can have coarse hair, they can have good hair. None of that plays into a factor for me versus if a person is this or that. But I think what he's trying to say is it don't matter what a person is, but if you're trying to say you're this or that, then people are like, well, wait a minute, which I told you, I said my grandmother, she would try to use that white privilege, honey.
Creating a diversion, never really fully answering the question directly. And once again, like I said, the gaslight is on. And like I said, she's been caught in a few lies. And now here comes the victim claiming or playing the victim, if you will, right? Like I said, once again, let me repeat that. She lied, got exposed, and now is crying foul. Once again, she lied, she got exposed, and now she's crying foul, ladies and gentlemen. I need you to understand this. So let's break down gaslighting. For the people who don't know what gaslighting is, let's break that down. She posed as a black woman to gain credibility and access. Basically, that's racial fraud. You know, racial fraud, right? You know, like, you let's say you're perpetrating a fraud, like you trying to pretend to be something that you're not, right? That's basically racial fraud.
So for the people that may say it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Like y'all know on YouTube, we got people out here all different hues. So, but again, what he's saying is, let's say I was so light that y'all thought I was white, but I really wasn't. But I never corrected y'all to say, hey, y'all, I'm, I'm whatever it was that I really was. So he's just simply saying people play into the narrative about being something that they're not. Because listen, I don't care what nobody say. They can talk about black people all they want, but a lot of people want to be black. Okay, let's get into it.
If you will, right? She used a racial slur publicly, laughed it off, and then said she was one of us, meaning African American, ladies and gentlemen. These are facts, right? When people rightfully called her out, she shifted the narrative. She shifted the narrative, and this is what she said. She said, basically, they're bullying me, right? I'm being attacked, right? I'm the real victim, right? Once again, victim claiming. Now, this all started off with victims of domestic violence, Cassie, Jane, Diddy, and like I said, sex trafficking, all of these things that happen. Somehow, some way, Tisa Tells has gaslit it to a situation in where now somehow it's about her being bullied. It's about her being attacked. Basically, it's about her being a victim, right? Once again, creating this narrative around, Diddy's allegedly texting people about attacking her.
And see, that is the part that I wanted y'all to see. So listen, again, we all have our own different commentary One of the reasons why I really don't watch other creators too is because when you watch other people, I know for me, I may develop stuff that they do, and I don't want to develop other things that people do. So I can't watch no long video. If it's a few minutes, I may see it or whatever. I got 15, 20 minutes, but otherwise, I'm not going to watch it. So if y'all can understand, it's like, okay, putting the narrative out there that somebody is sending people to attack you. I mean, it's just, you know what I mean? We want to have some kind of integrity here. We just don't want to just be out there lying, which could potentially, you know what I mean? It can cause problems. But here's the deal. What y'all need to understand is, and I know people were thinking that people were taken up for Diddy. Like he said in this video, that man got what, 8 lawyers? Listen, they can take up for him. I mean, he got lawyers to take up for him. So the thing of it is, if you're putting out this fake information, eventually, they're going to come for you because you are potentially coddling yourself to be a victim of a person that never met you. We are supposed to be talking about the news, not becoming a part of, you know what I mean? So this is what this guy is saying.
None of these things she can give any clear evidence about, ladies and gentlemen. But more importantly, like I said, using the N-word, being confronted about it, laughing it off, saying that she was one of us, right? When people rightfully called her out, she shifted the narrative. And she's good at it. Up until now. Up until you've seen this video. Right? Like I told you, there was a video I did about her on my YouTube page. The video's gone, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so that is pretty much the part that I wanted y'all to see. I got a few more minutes. Where are we at with time? So I do got a little meeting here. Okay, so I got about 5 more minutes. So another thing that I want to get into quickly. I know originally, I had showed y'all some clips from Nancy Grace, and I actually found 2 videos that is pretty much similar where Tisa is saying, that pretty much that, that they were trying to get her is pretty much what is the narrative there. And again, they're saying that none of that happened. I mean, it was people there. I wasn't there, but let's kind of get into it, guys.
The courthouse, she had to be taken to a secure location after the verdict went down yesterday. It was no laughing matter.
Oh, and shout out to Nancy Grace. This video is courtesy of Nancy Grace.
It's easy to laugh the next night, the night after, but you were mobbed outside the courthouse, attacked for not being a Diddy sympathizer, and threatened. Describe what happened.
So again, I wasn't there, but the people are saying this is a complete fabrication. This is what they saying. They said this is a complete fabrication. They said this did not happen.
Outside the courthouse. Everybody, Tisa Tells joining us. You can find her online on YouTube at Tisa Tells. Go ahead, Tisa.
Nancy, I laugh because I remain here and I remain.
She said, I laugh because I remain here. This is too much. Okay, go girl.
Adamant that the jury got it wrong, and Sean Diddy Combs and his supporters are dangerous and need to be held in check. Let me take you back to what happened outside of the courthouse. The verdict came in. I expected the celebrations from Sean's family, ran downstairs to bring it to you guys live. That is when the mob descended. People grown.
She said it was a mob. I don't know, y'all.
Grown men, hordes of grown men coming over, yelling, "We're going to treat you worse than Cassie."
She said, grown men said, we're going to treat you worse than Cassie, which is very interesting because the allegations against Diddy was against Diddy and not any other men. So I'm confused.
What happened to Cassie is nothing. Wait till we get our hands on you.
What happened to Cassie is nothing. Wait till we get our hands on you. They said this is a complete lie. I mean, I don't think anybody is going to stand out there and let somebody say that because that's absolutely crazy. Like, who would say that?
You effing B, you need to.
You effing B. That's like a threat. So, I mean, it was police out there.
Die. You need this. We're going to reach into you. Literally.
We're going to reach into you?
2 armed guards were protecting me from a swarm of men, of Diddy supporters. This is what they wanted to do, to celebrate when their degenerate king came up. But in that moment, my heart broke for the witnesses.
And I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I have not found one person, not one, that's celebrating Diddy. So where are the Diddy supporters? Now, I've heard people say they didn't have enough evidence to prove the RICO. And these people also said, because they want to make it clear, I don't support Diddy. So I didn't hear that. And I be in these YouTube streets.
Or broke for myself, because I realized they wanted to bring me to heel. They wanted me to pay all this anger and animosity they felt that I stood there on the side of victims. It boiled.
So that's it, y'all. That is pretty much where the outrage is coming from. Again, report your story, but when you are reporting a story as the Diddy case where people are in court, you have the documents, you have the jury, you have the transcripts, you have all the information that you have. But to get outside and they're saying she fabricated this entire story. And I'm only saying it because there were people in view of her when this altercation was happening, but everybody is saying the same thing. Now, my motto is, I know I wasn't there, but I tend to believe the mass, because y'all gotta understand, YouTube is a weird place. These people ain't actually friends, so it's not like they're taking a side of anybody. And I know y'all, a lot of people use the word jealous, and I always, tend to find that people that use that word consistently just probably don't have a larger vocabulary to use other words. I don't believe so, because I'm gonna make sure y'all understand, because y'all don't understand how the algorithm works. We don't get paid on subscribers. We don't. So just so y'all know, we don't get paid on subscribers. Just know that. Okay, so that's what I found, y'all. Let me get to my appointment and I'll see y'all later.
Don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that